Good afternoon, students. How are you all? Hope you all are doing good, staying safe at home. Children, please stay home, stay safe. Okay, take care of yourself and your family. Right? Okay, for you people to provide this education facility, we are trying for this online recording classes and we are sending this through WhatsApp. Please make use of it, watch the videos, do the homework. Okay, be in touch with the learning process. Okay, children, you can call us and you can get your doubts clarified if you have any problem, right? Okay, so in the last class we have started a new lesson, first lesson, that is our earth. In that lesson we have studied about the importance of planet earth and how among all the 8 planets, how planet earth is so important and how life exists on the earth, right? Evolution of the earth, about our universe, about Big Bang theory, right? How planets are formed, how our planet earth is formed. This all we have studied in the last class, and today we are going to study about the internal structure of the earth. In the last class you have studied up to the formation of the planet earth. So we have studied that nebula which is released from the sun, from the burning ball, all the gases, dust particles which revolved around the sun, they slowly collided, they started colliding with each other and they started forming a huge massive ball of fire, hot ball, which is today known as earth. Later it cooled down and it solidified and it formed as a planet earth, right? This about this Big Bang theory we have studied in the last class. Okay, so today we will study about the internal structure of the earth, right? So before I start this concept, I'll give you one small example, children. When your when your mother, she prepares kheer, she add semia kheer, she adds semia, milk, sugar, dry fruits, right? So after she prepare it, it is in liquid form, right? So once your mother prepare the semia kheer and remove that utensil from the stove, and when she put it down, after 1 hour 2 hours, if you open the lid of that utensil, you can see that upper layer of the milk of the kheer has cream, and below it you find milk, and below it you find semia, and last you find dry fruits, isn't it? And when you stir that kheer again with the spoon, it get mixed, isn't it, children? Yes. Why I gave this example is our planet earth is also in the same way, right? So when it was when the planet earth was formed, it was hot burning ball, children. It was very hot in a molten liquid form. So later, due to this later after millions of years, it becomes solid, and due to the atmosphere, air, gases and all, the outer layer of the planet earth became cooled and it formed a hard base on which we are living today. We call it as crust. And then once you start going deep inside the earth, after crust you find mantle. Okay, so this layer is also very hot, but it is not as hot as core, and after that you find core inside the earth, right? So in this way the earth internal structure is divided into 3 layers. Those are crust, mantle and core, and again in this core you have outer core and inner core. Here I will show you figure, children. Yes, can you see the figure? Yes, this is crust on which we are living, this is mantle, and this is inner core. So this is outer core and this is inner core. This is the internal structure of the earth, children. Okay, our planet Earth looks like this internally. Okay, so due to the atmosphere and gases present outside the Earth, our top layer of the Earth became hard, solidified due to rainfall and all. It became cooled, and this crust layer was formed. So up to 100 kilometers inside the Earth, we have crust layer, and you find many different types of rocks on this layer. After 100 kilometers to 2900 kilometers inside the Earth, you find mantle. Okay children, it is also very hot compared to crust. Once you start going inside, deep inside the Earth, temperature of the Earth increases. Okay, so here you find very important compounds like silicates. Okay, then once you go deep inside the Earth, you find core. Again, this core is divided into two categories: outer core, inner core, depending upon the availability of the minerals. So here outer core, it starts from 2900 kilometers to 5100 kilometers. Nickel and iron are available more in this layer. After this inner core, it starts from 5100 to 6376 kilometers, and the compounds which you and the minerals which you find which you get here are iron and gold. So if you see this internal layers, here you can see that all the hard materials, minerals like iron, gold, nickel are situated in the middle of the Earth because of their hard nature, hard substance. Okay, heavy materials, they are heavy and very hard. That is why they are in the last internal inner layer of the Earth, and here they are in liquid form, children. They are not in solid form, they are in liquid form. Now you may be getting doubt, then how from here do we get gold and iron? Yes, from here only we get gold and iron, but this gold iron, when the volcanoes burst, when the earthquakes come, at that erupt, at that time this gold and iron, they come out from the inner layer, and this come out of the earth in the form of volcanoes, and the liquid material called lava, magma, it spreads on the earth, and after years it's become cool and it solidifies in rock form, and again when we dig the earth we get this. Okay, so in this form, in this way we get gold and iron. Okay, we cannot reach here, we cannot go more than few kilometers deep inside the earth, children. If you dig a mine also, you cannot go more inside the more deeper because of the temperature. As you go down, temperature increases. Okay, so due to the volcanoes and the earthquakes, these minerals, they come out of the inner layer and they spread on the earth. So when after the formation of the planet Earth, when it was very hot, many volcanoes, many earthquakes erupted, many volcanoes erupted, and at that time all these minerals, mostly in a large form, they have come out and they have spread on the planet Earth. And when we started digging, we got these minerals. Even today also we get these minerals in the mantle layer. When you dig the soil, when you dig the earth, you get the minerals. Okay, right children? So this is about the internal structure of the earth. Can you see this? This is earth, this is mantle, this is outer core, and this is inner core, right? So here all the minerals in this core layer, all the minerals are in liquid form. Okay, you cannot go for few kilometers inside the earth, deep inside the earth, because of the high temperature and the gases which are releasing from these materials, from these minerals. And not only these minerals, along with this there are many other minerals present in the earth which release gases, which emit gases continuously, which are very poisonous, dangerous. Okay, yes. So this is about the internal structure of the earth. Now let us study about the movements of the earth crust. Today, how many continents we have, children? How many continents? 7 continents. Very good. Can you name them? Yes. Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Europe, Australia, Antarctica, right? Shall I tell you one thing, children? Earlier, all these continents were mixed or were attached to each other. They are not separated as we have today. They are in a big ball, they are in a big land mass. Later they got separated and these 7 continents were formed. Now shall we see how these 7 continents and oceans were formed? Yeah. To know this, Alfred Wegener, meteorologist, geophysicist, he has defined a theory called continental drift theory. In this continental drift theory, he has propounded that how these continents and oceans were formed. Okay, so according to him, he propounded a theory. According to him, he proved that earlier all these continents were not separated. They are attached to each other. They are in a one big landform called Pangaea. Later, due to the earthquakes and volcanoes, this Pangaea it got separated, and the northern part of this Pangaea formed few continents, and the southern part of this Pangaea formed few continents. Okay, so the northern part of Pangaea gave birth to North America, Europe, Asia, North Asia, and this Gondwana landform, South Pangaea, gave birth to South America, Africa, India Peninsula, and Australia, Madagascar, Antarctica continents, right? In this way, all these continents they got separated from this huge landmass called Pangaea, and this all happened because of the movements inside the earth, right? About these movements inside the earth you will study in the about this plate tectonics you will study in the next lesson. Okay, so due to the internal disturbance and due to the movements inside the earth, this huge landmass called Pangaea got divided, collided and formed 7 continents. And there was a Tethys Sea in the middle of this Pangaea. This Tethys Sea today it submerged, and Himalayan mountains were formed over this Tethys Sea. About all this you will study in the next class, children, in the next lesson. Okay, so this important theory, continental drift theory, was propounded by Alfred Wegener. He has proved this, and even according to him, he said that even continents are moving even today very slowly. You cannot identify, or you can't know how about this movement, but slowly they are moving even today. Okay, so to know this, children, I'll tell you one small activity. What you do, you cut all the continents. You take one outline map, you cut the continents, then you attach all those continents beside each other. You put those continents beside each other, then you will form a big landmass called, you will get Pangaea. Okay, here you can see this in the textbook. Yes, can you see this, children? Yes, this is Pangaea. After the movements started taking place in the earth, this happened. Slowly continents got separated, slowly all the continents were formed. This is called as continental drift theory. Okay, a German meteorologist and geophysicist named Alfred Wegener, he has propounded this continental drift theory. Okay, children, this is about the formation of continents and ocean basins on the oceans on the earth. Internal structure of the earth, movement of the earth crust, and we have seen how this Pangaea got separated and how the continents and oceans are formed. Okay, so this we have studied about the formation of continents and the earth, oceans. Now, where these continents are located exactly on the earth, to know this we use imaginary lines on the globe. Have you seen these imaginary lines on the globe? Can you name what are these? You have studied in the previous classes. You have studied about these lines in your previous classes. Can you tell about them? Yeah, they are latitudes and longitudes, right? So we draw latitudes and longitudes on the earth, sorry, on the globe or on the map to draw the continents, countries exactly or accurately. These latitudes and longitudes will help us to draw these continents and countries accurately on the map. Okay, now what are these latitudes and longitudes? Okay, shall we discuss about them in details? Right? So what are latitudes? Latitudes are the horizontal lines drawn on the globe. Okay, they run from west to east, east to west. Okay, children. So the line which divides the earth exactly, the line, horizontal line which is drawn on the surface of the globe, on the surface of the earth, exactly in the middle is equator. Equator divides the globe into two equal hemispheres. This is northern hemisphere, this is southern hemisphere. So equator is named as 0 degree latitude. This is the largest among all the other latitudes. As you start going up and down from the equator, the size of the latitudes decreases. Okay, so because of the curvature of the earth, you find the lines decreasing slowly. So there are altogether 90 latitudes in the northern hemisphere, 90 latitudes in the southern hemisphere, right children? So you can see at that few latitudes were given special names. This is because from here the temperature, there you find change in the temperature. Okay, that is why these latitudes were given names to identify the areas. So we divide them in different climatic zones also. So the area between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, you name it as torrid zone or tropical zone. The area between Tropic of Cancer and Arctic Circle, you name it as temperate zone, and the area between Arctic Circle and North Pole, here is the North Pole, this you call it as frigid zone. So based upon the temperature, based upon the sunlight, you divide this climatic zones. So for the classification of these climatic zones, these latitudes were given names. Okay children. So here in the southern hemisphere also you have Tropic of Capricorn, that is 23.5 degree, the Arctic Circle, that is 66.5 degree, and the South Pole, that is 90 degree. So once you reach the South Pole, the latitude will not be any more line, it will be a small dot both in South Pole and in North Pole. Okay, so these are the horizontal lines. These lines are imaginary. We drew these lines for the location of the countries, to know the climate, and for the to know the location of the country. And another thing is, can you tell me? To know the location, time, and what is the another use? Yes, climate of a place. With the help of these lines you can locate not only with the latitudes, with the help of latitudes and longitudes you can locate a place, you can know the time, and you can know the climate of a place. So to know this climate of a place we require this special latitudes. With this we can classify the climatic zones. Is that clear about latitudes, children? So altogether there are 90 latitudes in the northern hemisphere, 90 latitudes in the southern hemisphere. And after this latitude you find change in the temperature, at the same time you find change in the atmosphere also. You find change in the temperature. Here temperature is very hot. Coming to Tropic of Capricorn, once you cross Tropic of Capricorn and when you start going down and when you start going up here after Tropic of Cancer, you find lot of change in the temperature. Temperature starts decreasing. Once you reach South Pole and North Pole, temperature is no more. There you find very less temperature. It is in minus degrees, right? Okay. So now let us move to the longitudes. Longitudes are also imaginary lines drawn from North Pole to South Pole. Okay, they intersect the equator at the middle and other latitudes too. Okay, so the latitude which is drawn in the middle is called as 0 degree meridian or Greenwich meridian or prime meridian. Now why it is named as Greenwich meridian? Because Europeans, they have done this, Greek people, Europeans have done this work of, they have done this, they invented these lines, latitudes and longitudes. So they started this from Greenwich in London. That is why they took that line as 0 degree, and from there they started counting the latitudes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that. So altogether we have 360 longitudes. Altogether we have 360 longitudes and we have 180 latitudes. Okay, so we have 360 longitudes. This 0 degree longitude divides the earth into two hemispheres. This is eastern hemisphere and this is western hemisphere. Okay, so again in eastern hemisphere we have 180 longitudes, again in western hemisphere we have 180 longitudes. Once you start moving from 0 degree to 1, 2, 3, 4 towards east, you add the time. For every movement of one longitude you add 4 minutes. Okay, so from our altogether we have 24 time zones. So we clubbed a few group of longitudes in one time zone. In one time zone we have 15 longitudes, which is equal to 1 hour. So if we are moving from 0 to 1 time zone, it takes 1 hour. From 1 to 2 it takes 2 hours. 2 to 3 it takes 3 hours. In this way one time zone consists of total 15 longitudes, which is equal to 1 hour. For the movement of one longitude from one place to other, it takes 4 minutes time. For the movement of the earth from one longitude to the another longitude, it takes 4 minutes. Right, children? So here is 0 degree and our India is Indian standard time we measure at 82 degree 30 minutes east longitude. So when we estimate the time, we are 5.5 hours far ahead from Greenwich longitude. For example, suppose if it is 12 noon in the London, in India it is 5:30, evening 5:30 time, because we are 5.5 hours ahead from 0 degree, because we have taken 82 degree 30 minutes east longitude as our standard time. Okay, about this explanation you will have in depth in your next 10th class, children. Okay, why we have selected 82 degree only. Okay, so this is our Indian standard time, IST. It is 82 degree 30 minutes. So we are 5.5 hours ahead than London time. In London, if it is 5, it is 12 o'clock, here it is 5:30. If there it is 5, here it is 10:30. So, we are 5.5 hours ahead. So, in this way, these longitudes help us to know the time. Okay, we have people, these cartographers, Greek people, they are actually Greek people, they have done this work of latitudes and longitudes, and it took nearly 2000 years for them to do this work, children. And after doing depth study, they drew these lines on the globe, on the earth, on the map. Okay, and each longitude, it takes 4 minutes to move from its position towards sun, right? In this way, altogether there are 360 longitudes. So, for the complete rotation of the earth, it takes 24 hours. Okay, once this 0 degree faces the sun, again by the time it completes its rotation and it again faces the sun, it takes 24 hours, 12 hours day and 12 hours night. So, once you start moving from 0 towards east longitudes, you start adding the time, and once you start moving back from 0 to west side, west longitudes, you subtract the time. We have different time, Europeans have different time, Americans have different times. As America is located in the western hemisphere, we subtract the time. For us, if it is day, for them it is night. This is because of the rotation of the earth. The places, the continents which faces to the sun, they had daytime. Remaining continents, remaining countries which are opposite to us, they have night time. This you have studied about the movement of the earth, you have studied in your previous class, 8th standard. Okay, so in this way, few countries have day, few countries have night, and in few countries you have afternoon time. This all depends upon the rotation of the earth. Now, this network of latitude and longitude is called grid. Is that clear? What is grid? It is the network of latitudes and longitudes. Now you got clear why we draw latitudes and longitude on the globe? To know the time, to locate the places, and to know the climate. With the help of these latitudes, you can tell, suppose if India is here, you can say that half of the India, South India is in tropical zone, North India is in temperate zone. Based upon this, you can estimate the climate of that area. Okay, in this way you can know the climate. Now, to know the time, just now I have shown you this is 0 degree longitude, our India is here on this latitude, on this longitude. So, this line is 82 degree. So, from 0 degree to 82 degree, it takes 5.5 hours to move from this longitude to this longitude. So, there was a gap of 5 and there is a gap of 5.5 hours from Greenwich meridian to our India. If you see for China, Japan, again they have different times. Japan is ahead from us. So, they have more time. There is a time gap from India to China, Japan for 2 to 3 hours because they are ahead than us. Understood? So, in this way you can locate the time. Now, how you can locate the places? With the help of, suppose our India is here, I can say that on 82 degree longitude and at 8 degree latitude, the point which is intersecting here is India. In this way I can locate the place also for any country, not only India. If you know the latitudes and longitudes of any country, you can locate it on the map easily. Is that clear, children? So, latitudes and longitudes, they are denoted in this latitudes and longitudes, they are denoted with minutes and seconds and degrees, right? So, this is about the Earth's grid system. Okay, children, hope you all understood this. Here we completed our lesson 1. So till now we have studied about the evolution of the earth, about the internal structure of the earth, about the movement of the earth's crust, and about the grid system, earth's grid system. Here we completed first lesson. Any doubts children, please call me and get it clarified. After this class, please complete your first lesson question answers and do map pointing wherever it is required. Okay, thank you.